The phone lit at 2:14 a.m. It wasn't her. It was her friend. A voice too careful, too alert. "Everything's fine," she said before I could speak. That was the first lie. I lay in the dark, the phone warm against my ear. The ceiling fan ticking like a countdown. In the background, whispers. Stifled laughter. A sharp shh. Then the line went silent. 12 minutes later, my wife's text came. "I'm sorry. I can't do this." No explanation. Just 6 words folded into fear. I watched the screen until the letters stopped being words and became proof. She returned before sunrise. Eyes raw, hands trembling. She slid into bed beside me without touching, as if closeness alone could mend what distance had broken. Her breathing was off, quick, shallow, like she was still running from something. I didn't ask. I didn't have to. Whatever was meant to last 2 days had crumbled in half a night. People only panic when they're afraid of what they've shown. I closed my eyes and listened to her breathe, and quietly began counting everything else. By morning, the story came ready-made. A dare from her friends, a relationship test, a joke that went too far. She delivered it with polished regret, eyes lowered, voice soft. "They wanted to see how I'd react," she said. "How loyal, how much I cared." I nodded, I even smiled. Inside, something realigned. Tests require standards. Standards require assumptions. They had assumed something about me, but the dare wasn't really about me. It never is. She avoided details. What was said? What was done? What line was crossed before fear pulled the emergency brake? Every omission landed heavier than a confession. I remembered the small things I'd overlooked before. Her phone turning face down. Her sudden hunger for reassurance. The way her friends watched me lately. Curious, almost expectant. Like I was part of an experiment. Like I was part of an experiment. That afternoon, one of them messaged me by mistake. A screenshot meant for someone else. It disappeared seconds later. But not before I saw. He didn't react the way we thought. That's when the ground moved. They weren't testing my loyalty. They were testing my blindness. And she had agreed. I stayed calm. That was easy. Calm is what I do when something matters. I didn't check her phone, not yet. I didn't accuse. I listened. I watched patterns instead. The way she flinched at notifications. The way she over-explained ordinary things. The way she wept when I asked about her day, as if the question were an accusation. At night, while she slept, I rebuilt those 12 hours minute by minute. Who she was with. Where the silences fell. Which gaps refused to make sense. I pulled phone records. Not the words. Just the timestamps. Duration. Frequency. 1. Number pulsed like a second heartbeat. Deleted contact. Repeated calls. Before and after the test. I didn't need names. I ran it all. Through the version of myself she didn't know existed. The one who doesn't rush. Doesn't rage. Doesn't speak until the ending is already written. I realized the test was meant to provoke me. To jealousy. To anger. To pleading. Instead, I stayed neutral. That frightened her. Because neutrality meant I wasn't the variable. She was. The truth came on a Tuesday. Not with drama. Not with noise. Just quietly, undeniably. A message request from a stranger. 1 sentence. She said she was choosing. She didn't think you'd notice. Attached was proof. Enough to erase doubt. Enough to end pretending. I waited until evening. Set the table. Made dinner. Asked about her day. She talked too much. When we finished, I slid my phone across the table, without a word. She looked, froze, broke. Her breath caught as if she'd been struck. Tears came fast, messy, real. She reached for explanations before I asked a single question. "It was just a test," she said. "I didn't think—" "I know," I said. That stopped her. I'd already won the moment by staying still. By not asking for answers I already held. They thought they were testing a husband. They were revealing a choice. I didn't raise my voice. I stood. "I saw everything," I said. "Not just the 12 hours. She folded inward. Apologies, spilled like loose change. Promises, regrets. The usual currency of the caught. I told her I'd known earlier than she realized. That I'd watched her panic, not because she loved me too much to hurt me, but because she saw she couldn't control how it ended. That was the revenge, letting her see the truth I had reached alone. That I wasn't the one being judged. I thanked her friends in silence. They had shown me who she was when she thought I wasn't watching. I picked up my coat. She begged. Of course she did. But the test was over. I left with nothing but clarity. No shouting, no scene. No need to punish. Understanding is enough. Some mistake calm for weakness. They don't recognize it as restraint sharpened by watching. I wasn't broken by the test. I was freed by it. And I never looked back, not because it hurt too much, but because there was nothing left worth seeing.